Let's look at the science against eating animals. We begin with a look at macronutrients. Once you understand macronutrients, you realize that meat can't possibly be human food. What are the macronutrients? They are carbohydrate, protein, fat, and sometimes in this list, some people include fiber and water. Whether you include fiber and water or not is just a linguistic debate. The fact is, these are the 5 components you need in your diet. So let's start by asking, are potatoes a carbohydrate? No. Potatoes are not a carb. Sugar is a carb. Potatoes are a root vegetable, and as such, they're a healthy human food. Yes, they contain more carbohydrate than protein or fat, but they actually have more water than carbohydrate. 100 grams of potatoes will have 87 calories. That's less than 1 calorie per gram. About 80 calories of the 87 will be carbohydrate. About 7 calories will be protein. Almost 1 calorie will be fat. 2 grams will be fiber. And so when you eat an ideal human food like potatoes, you get plenty of carbohydrate to fuel your cells. You also get a good complement of protein to repair, grow, and regulate your cells. You get a smidgen of fat to store energy and carry fat-soluble vitamins. You get fiber to regulate sugar absorption and to cleanse your system. And you get a lot of well-filtered water. You also get all kinds of minerals and vitamins, as well as antioxidants to prevent cancer. You can't get fat by eating potatoes. Indeed, you can lose a lot of weight. Like all human foods that are good candidates to be staple foods, potatoes are a filling, starch-based food low in fat. Now that we understand the macronutrient profile of a great vegetable, the potato, let's talk about meat. Is meat a protein? No. Meat is not a protein. Meat is an ideal food for cats and other carnivores. It is not a human food. For humans, meat is effectively a slow-acting toxin, likely to make you sick or kill you over time. Depending on the cut of meat, it will be about 50% fat and 50% protein. It has 0 carbohydrate, none of the natural fuel for human cells. Meat has no fiber. It's low in vitamin content. It has no antioxidants. That's why you'll never see a study that roast beef or pork helps to prevent cancer. But you will see many studies that meat causes cancer. More than 1/3 of the fat will be saturated fat known to team up with cholesterol to cause heart disease. And meat, of course, also contains cholesterol, thereby supplying all the nutrients you need for a heart attack. It will also supply bacteria and endotoxins, defined as a toxin that's present inside a bacterial cell and released when the cell disintegrates. You can cook to destroy the bacteria, but you can't cook out the endotoxins. The condition of endotoxins in the blood is called endotoxemia, implicated in the development of many chronic diseases. Since meat is not human food, and since it contains toxins and endotoxins, it causes inflammation, a good way to engender or aggravate heart disease and autoimmune disease. The protein in meat, its big selling point, is excessive and carcinogenic. The human body cannot store protein, so an excess is a burden. Meat is often injected, whether you know it or not, with a solution to try to hide its foul taste. Walmart, for example, says a majority of its fresh offerings are enhanced with a solution of water, salt, sodium phosphate, and natural flavorings. And so when your server asks, what's your choice of protein, beef, chicken, or fish? Your server might as well ask, what's your choice of saturated fat? Or what's your choice of cholesterol? Or what's your choice of bacteria and endotoxins and sodium phosphate and flavorings? Meat is not a protein. Now, an understanding of macronutrients alone should be enough to convince you that meat isn't human food. but the science of comparative anatomy reinforces the case. Scientists compare humans with all mammalian carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores. They contrast the shape of the jaw, the movement of the jaw, the gape of the mouth, the dentition, the presence or absence of amylase, the starch digesting enzyme in the saliva, the length of the intestines, the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, the presence or absence of claws. And in every category, humans line up not with the carnivores, not even with the omnivores, but with the herbivores. That's right, we are anatomically herbivores. Still, despite this evidence, the paleo side answers with its most powerful, challenging argument, the canine tooth argument. If humans weren't meant to eat meat, why do we have canine teeth like, for example, tigers? That's a tough one. That's a really hard argument to answer. So let's take a look at this striking similarity. Well, the word is absolutely the same, though, canine. It's a linguistic, not an anatomical equivalence. So you can see why people get confused. Tigers, though, do not get intimidated by our canines. Third on the list, we have evolutionary biology. If an understanding of both macronutrients and comparative anatomy doesn't convince you that meat isn't human food, as they should, then consider what we can learn from evolution. This is yet another way to deduce the correct human diet, since apparently we've misplaced our instincts. We know perfectly well which animals we're most closely related to, the primates and especially the great apes, all of whom are very nearly card-carrying vegans. Chimps, orangutans, and gorillas eat a diet that's 95 to 99% plants. It's remarkable how few gorillas get asked where they get their protein. And given that we share 99% of our DNA with chimpanzees, we couldn't possibly be designed to eat a diet that's a polar opposite to their diet of fruits and vegetables. A few times a year, admittedly, male chimps will surround a monkey in the trees, catch it, break its neck, and break apart its living flesh, which they will give to female chimps in exchange for sex. This is appalling behavior, but they're not doing it for nutritional reasons. They're doing it to get laid. When I was single, I did far worse.